to ask as Kenyans is that within our education system, are we looking for knowledge or are we looking for papers? Because again, we've ended up there. Look at how the teachers are telling us, oh, we close school, fine. And I appreciate when our teachers go and upgrade themselves to have graduates, to become graduates. But then we need to ask ourselves, why did we have a teachers' college? There was a reason why there was a teachers' college, because we knew the curriculum that you're going to deal with is a bit different to the education that I go in the evening in campus and listen to my lecturer, and I have to do everything and go back. We have to really ask ourselves, even the teachers, are they getting the right training? When they come to Kenyatta University, which used to be for education at that time, and now we have transformed, do we have a university now that we can say can engage specifically in education? And not just education, but science and technology also, just without bringing in now the other aspects that they normally bring in so that they can, for their betterment of and the advancement of the university. I know they'll look for resources. But is there a way government can ensure we have a specific university, because they want to graduate, they want to be PhDs.
Why do you want a specific university for education?
Okay.
Why is it the faculty? First of all, University of Nairobi used to teach education. It was moved to Kenyatta to purely teach
education.
Then university introduced education themselves, back the University of Nairobi.
Yes.
And many other institutions, other universities have faculties of education.
Now,
why do you want a university specific for education?
Mutegi, look at it this way. We have all those faculties with education, with other faculties. The challenge we are facing is that, have you ever gone to that classroom, sat and listened whether what I'm gaining from my lecturer is what, the way they used to go, and then you look at their scheme of workbooks, the way they analyze those scheme of workbooks and everything for a teacher, yeah? Am I getting that knowledge? Because in the university, I don't think we have time even to do that. I know in the colleges they used to have that time too. And then in that time you'll be given even a school. You go, you do teaching practice, so you're getting the skills, so that when you're coming out, you have. But today, I take my son directly to Kenyatta University to do education. That education, I don't know whether after that he'll be able now to go. He has to go and juggle around, now get a, even whoever will.
That complaint can be applied to any other faculty.
That's why I'm saying we need specifically.
Then we need also university to teach medicine only.
I think my view of it will be a bit different. I think that the past two regimes have been, to me, very, very progressive as far as addressing the issues of access in education are concerned. I just want to jumble up your mind a little bit. Talking about a mid-level economy, you're talking about 50% of the population being graduates. As we talk now, this country has not made 500,000 graduates, for your information. Even as we talk of, there are so many universities all over, we are yet to achieve a 500,000 mark. That means that the current enrollment in all the universities, private and public, stands at 332,000 if the statistics we have to go from the Ministry of Education late last year. That means that we need 10 years for us to have 3.3 million graduates. And that means that we will need 20 years for us to have 6 million graduates. So one of the things I totally come out to feel that the previous two regimes were very progressive is that they try to open up to liberalize education. However, the issue is, I slightly differ with the Mheshimiwa here that we need to have specific universities. My feeling is that this government is not in control of education in this country. Just like these other sectors where you have got cartels, I have a strong feeling that even in the education sector, we have cartels. And what I mean by cartels is that you have the agenda in education is set by non-state actors. When you look at the job description of Professor Kaimenyi and what he's supposed to do in the next 5 years, I doubt if he's going to perform miracles for him to deliver what is expected. Because as we talk now, I'm not sure of any county that has set up the county education board. The position of the Director General in the Ministry of Education has not been set up. My feeling when the president was creating the state departments in the Ministry of Education, you cannot take a whole department of education that runs from early childhood all the way to the university and give to one principal secretary and leave one with a very, very little component called science and technology. I mean, look at December. Kaimeni was all over on the papers. I mean, writing, issues about universities that were going to graduate. There's literally no work taking place. The essence is that if you have a government, if you have the education sector being run by non-state agencies, why do we have to wait for Uwezo to come out and tell us that our children are not learning? Why do we wait for the unions to set the pace and tell the government that we need 100,000 teachers, for instance? Do we have the Directorate of human resource in the ministry or at the Teacher Service Commission that will deal with what you call manpower planning, so that we can say that this noise we had recently of the teachers wanting to be promoted, TSA has no idea how many people are doing masters in education financing. It cannot match with the available opportunities. The ministry is not even aware of what is taking place. So you end up having universities competing for space because you see there is demand. If you told people that when they graduate they'll be promoted, why shouldn't I start a particular program? So I think that even the opportunities we have in the current universities are not enough to train the number of teachers that we need. I think let all universities operate. All that the government needs to come in is to put its foot down and ensure that quality is being delivered, because that's a sector that the government has totally failed in. When you look at the Commission for University Education, is a recycling of old vice chancellors with the same old ideas. Of course, I have nothing wrong against old people, but when Albert Einstein says that doing the same thing over and again expecting different results is what you term as madness. When you have the same people being recycled, mismanagement, and you keep on repeating the same and the same and the same again, come like to the State Department of Education, look at 1 year after the enactment of the Education Act, we were supposed to set up what you call the Education Standards and Quality Assurance Council. It has not yet been set up. Go to the counties, go to the district and find out, do we have quality assurance officers? They are not there. That's why now all of us have to sit and wait for an NGO to do a research and tell us that this is what is happening in the schools. Do you mean that, for instance, a budget an NGO spends of just about $2 million, that's 160 million, to do a research nationwide? The government cannot spend 160 billion again to bring out such data. But on the other hand, I think even as we condemn 844, we also need to look at ourselves, compare ourselves in the region. And reports, if you look at the Global Monitoring and Education report, you look at the SACMEC reports, you look at Uwezo Regional report, they actually give some beam of hope that we seem to be slightly doing even better than our peers, across the region, because like in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, our literacy levels are slightly higher. In Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa, we're not badly off. I think out of about 15 countries, we could be about position 5, position 6. So it means that we're not that badly off. Our graduates are actually competitive enough. If you look at an 844 graduate, is the only one you saw whom you trained as an architecture, but comes to make it as a very, very successful bank manager. Of course, it has issues of underemployment. That means that you're putting qualified people, but not qualified in that area to work in a different area. But these are things that we could build upon and build a superior system.
Right.
Maybe Mutegi, first of all, I want to say that I want to thank the Education Committee in the Senate, because I know Senator Mutahi, since he became the chair of that sector, he has followed up, and I know he has done meetings with all the executive committee members within the counties of education. He has met all the government officials within the counties on education. He has started a system where he says you must ensure every school has a good kindergarten and the best class kindergarten. And I know in the other counties they have picked on that. I would want to tell the governors, it is to the governors. I wonder how we come in and we start fighting governors when they are talking about education within the counties. For me, I want to see the governors now taking control of education within the counties.
But that's the docket of national government.
While it's the docket of national government,
in the counties.
it is implemented in the counties, and when you become number last, it is your county that is being named there. That time, it is not national government being told. It is your county, Garissa, that is being condemned, that indeed you did not do your work. It means, what should the governor do? Go and sit down with the teachers within those counties. Look at how you can support. And I know the county governments can do better in terms of looking at the infrastructure. And then the members of the National Assembly with CDF should also now sit down. And I think the board that Sang was trying to bring in, so that these things, you can sit down as a county and agree where you have all these challenges and sit down and say, I know we have 25% of every CDF in this country to a member of parliament. It translates to 20 million, meaning any child who is within that constituency can be able to go to a public school if he or she performs better. And therefore, it is up to the whole county to say, because education, Motegi, is the only thing that used to bring us on board, rich and poor. And if we cannot look at that, if we have decided to disconnect it and say, now the rich will continue going to this school which is better, which has everything, and the poor this, it means the gap of the poor and the rich will still remain how we see it today. So for me, I want to tell the governors, take control of education. It is, I don't understand this thing when we are fighting about it's a national thing and it's a county thing. Yet in the end of the day, we want results. So the national government should look of a way also of sitting down with the county governments and saying, we know it's a national function, but we know we can sit down and deal with it at this level because this is where it is working. This is where it is devolved.
All right. Just looking at some of the questions coming in from the viewers. This is Moses from Kisumu, says, Kenyan education system is bogus. Says, out of the over 800,000 who sit for exams, only less than 400,000 make it to the secondary schools, to a higher level of education. It's not knowledge driven, instead for opportunities, promotions and higher pay.
I think I get what Moses is saying, but I think he should be able to separate the two issues. That when you refer to an education being bogus, I don't know whether he's referring to the content or is referring to the people who are coming out of it. Because as I've said earlier on, children are coming out with the skills, others are coming out without skills. That is for a fact. The problem we have, as Mheshimiwa said, is when we end up with this form of categorization. And Mheshimiwa is here, she's part of the government. The question is, why can the Jubilee government just implement the Education Act of 2013, which says that all children have a right to free and basic compulsory education?
But I thought that
I think that was done by Kibaki's government, and it should continue.
That was what's happening?
It is not happening, because you cannot be saying that there are children who will be locked out of going to secondary school. It is the responsibility of the government to make sure that every child who sat for KCPE is enrolled in secondary school. If those positions are not there, and this is the, I mean, this one I want to pick, to give the MPs a pat on the back. CDF has done a lot in terms of helping to set up schools. But what we see is that on the part of the executive, there is no goodwill to put their resources, because you keep on, elevating schools to be called national schools, and you leave many of these children to go there. And listen to the whole principal secretary telling children that those of you who not go to